breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
And the Thunder roll. There's levels to this. And right now, there's good teams, and there's really one great team that's separating themselves. And we've seen that with the Oklahoma City Thunder. We watched it in a 7-game series against the Denver Nuggets. We saw a young Oklahoma City team step up and win fourth quarters. And in Game 7, fell behind early and blew the doors off the Denver Nuggets. And the Nuggets have arguably the best player on the planet in Nikola Jokic, and they didn't have a shot in Game 7. And you saw it last night. Good start from Minnesota. Another good team in the NBA. And then there's another level. There's an extra gear that the Thunder can reach that I don't know if the other 3 teams playing can reach that gear. It's a special season for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The depth, the pieces, it works for Oklahoma City. Now, it's only one a game. And you have that man, Anthony Edwards, who people point at. And when you compare stars in the conference finals, people gravitate towards Anthony Edwards. And they say, oh, he's the best of the remaining star players even though it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander that's probably going to be named NBA MVP, you look at Anthony Edwards, and you see the attitude, kind of the old school mentality, the dog in him, the ceiling. But yet, it's just Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder that continue to roll. The most pieces, a team that's grown up in the postseason, and game one in the books, 114-88 OKC over Minnesota. The response will come, but the Thunder might just have too much in the tank in the Western Conference Finals. What it do, and welcome in Hump Day ODAM right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck and Zay Johnson rocking with you this morning. We got hoops, we got football. We're going all over the place for the next 3 hours. Tons of great stories to get into this morning, and some Lobo baseball, Mountain West tournament going on in Arizona. So the voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, going to be up early with us. Be later in the show, 9:30 this morning. He'll join us 8:30 back in AZ as they get ready for some Lobo baseball. And you're like, oh, that's cool, Mountain West tournament. Yeah, what's even cooler, game's right here on the Sports Animal today. 2 o'clock, Lobos and San Jose State. Win and move on, lose and go home. Opening game of the Mountain West baseball tournament. You can hear that right here on the Sports Animal. So we'll talk with the voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, coming up at 9:30 this morning. So you saw it last night. The Thunder trailed by 4, 48-44 at the half. Outscored Minnesota 70-40 in the second half. And can Minnesota get a game or two in this series? Yeah, it's possible. We've watched Minnesota again for the second year in a row just kind of be that underdog team that finds ways to win. If Anthony Edwards is that dude, which I believe he is, they can get a game or two in this series. But the Thunder just have too much. There's a different level across the board. The pieces work so well together. You see, when they start turning you over, you're in trouble. The Thunder are averaging almost 26 points per game off turnovers during the playoffs. That's the most by any team in the postseason. In quote play-by-play era that began in 1997 when they really started tracking a stat like that. And it gets lost at times. We talk about the NBA and the way the game is played and all the offense and the high scores. Defense still matters. And the teams that are winning championships can step up their defense in the postseason. And that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is what we saw last night. That's what we've seen throughout the postseason run to this point for the Thunder with their versatility, their athleticism, their length. They're a problem. And they forced Minnesota to settle. T-Wolves 15 of 51 from three. Anthony Edwards, who has been battling a right ankle injury all postseason long. Yeah, there's no excuses. He's out there on the floor, but you can see at times it definitely affects the way he plays. Just 5 of 13 shooting. Edwards, after the game, says he feels great. He just needs to shoot the bleeping ball more. But this is one day I look at this and it's like, good job, good effort, Minnesota, but there's just something different about this Thunder team right now.
Yeah, they got too much going for them. And the number one thing that stopped people from believing that, I mean, also keep in mind, they were the best team all season, at least as far as the West is concerned. The whole youth thing. I mean, at this point in these playoffs, they have gone through enough to, they're not considered the young team anymore. Number one, because they've been through 2 series already. But also, if you look around, now the playing field has changed. There's no more of these teams that have got all the veterans. Unless you want to count the Knicks, some of the players that they have. The Timberwolves have got some, experienced players as well. But OKC right now, they're young, and I believe that when you're young, when things go good, they're going to go great. When things go bad, they can go real bad. And for OKC right now, they're going good. They're looking around. They realize that the competition has, in my opinion, it's lowered. Although all these teams have made it to this point, I mean, OKC's got to be like, okay, we're just right there. So now I think their confidence is through the roof. If Minnesota gets one, it's going to be because OKC is a bad game.
I'm with you. I think it's just OKC. They were a playoff team last year. They've grown up in the postseason. Because specifically, some of those fourth quarters they played against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
In tight games, big situations where they rolled and they made the plays late. Yeah, they had a loss early, overtime game in that series, but then they came back, pushed to 7 by a quote-unquote veteran team, been there, done that, it's won a championship. And the Thunder were better in the impactful moments late in this series. By the way, the average age of the Thunder is about 24 years old.
Sheesh.
SGA is a dude that's been there, though. He's not a young pup. Your best player, this isn't his first go-around. He's been in the league a bit. You remember when they acquired SGA. That's when, Paul George went to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
And so SGA's been a part of this process. He's spent some time in OKC. He's watched that team build up around him. And, you look at Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. Those are the really young pups. But I'm also bringing Alex Caruso off the bench. He's 31 years old. Isaiah Hartenstein is the guy that's been in the league for a little bit. So despite the overall young age of the Thunder, this is a team that I trust. This is a team that has grown up in front of our eyes. And you, again, tip your cap. I think Edwards is going to have one of his 40, 45-point games. Julius Randle's been good. But you just see the other pieces just aren't quite there for Minnesota to the level of the Thunder. But when we look at what we're going to see tonight, the Pacers and Knicks, I'm expecting this to be a new era classic series. I think this is going to be phenomenal. 7 games. The Pacers, who kind of similar to Minnesota, right? Is that no one is ever picking the Pacers, but yet here they are again. Second straight Eastern Conference Finals appearance. The versatility, the athleticism, the way Indiana plays, it's going to pressure the Knicks. I like the Knicks in 7. I would probably take the Pacers plus 4.5 tonight. But I look at this series, and I am expecting fireworks, Brunson, Halliburton to have their moments. And I'm expecting to watch a Game 7, Madison Square Garden, Knicks, Pacers, trip to the NBA Finals on the line.
So you tell me this. I've been contemplating this in my head for the Pacers. Obviously, this is one of the best teams since the Reggie Miller days. Would you put this team above the Paul George, Roy Hibbert Pacers? You think this is the best Pacers team, the best chance they've got? Because back then, it was really just LeBron and Miami that wouldn't allow Paul George and Roy Hibbert to truly shine. Now, I don't think they were superstars. I don't think Paul George was. Before the injury, he almost was.
He was flirting with that level of play.
He was right there. He was right there. Maybe like Jimmy Butler level.
Good, yes, that's a good comparison with how strong they were, and then they ran into the Heatles and LeBron and D Wade. This is the best team since then.
Yeah,
like this has the ability, just because they could. They have. I think they have a better chance against the Knicks than those teams had against the Heat. Because we saw this ridiculous run that LeBron and the Heat went on, just getting to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So since 2000, and that's the last time we saw these teams meet up in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're talking about Reggie Miller, Patrick Ewing, the stars of that one, versus now what we're seeing with Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. Yeah, this could be the best Pacers team in 25 years.
And I love the way all these teams are built. It reminds me of like when I first started watching in like 2009, 2010, where you've got right now there's 4 teams and they're led by the head of the snake. Okay, and then you got a supporting cast. And I think in the Thunder's case, it just so happens that they have a really good team and the best pure scorer. So I think that's why they're going to excel. As far as the Pacers and Knicks, I think it's all about, you got Halliburton. He's a great facilitator, but when he decides to start scoring and he's facilitating, that's what I think got them to this point. So if he can continue to score the basketball, at a rate where I don't think many of us thought he could, consistently, especially in the playoffs, then I think this will for sure go 7 games. But if Halliburton is not scoring the basketball at a high clip, I think the Knicks and the physicality of the Knicks will overtake the Pacers.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. How are you feeling about the conference finals, Western Conference? Do you think Minnesota can come back on OKC? And do you feel like this could be a classic Eastern Conference Finals series, a little old school flavor? Pacers and Knicks, they've had their battles in the past, and they're doing it again on the biggest stage in the Eastern Conference. Robert Portnoy, voice of Lobos, set to join us at 9:30. We got Lobo Baseball live on the radio this afternoon right here on the Sports Animal. Lobos in San Jose State in the Mountain West Tournament. We'll get into a ton of stuff. I got some college football topics we're going to get into. Bracketology. Yep, bracketology. It's May. We're talking about bracketology for 2026. Yes, we are. Coming up on the other side, who is the Carmelo Anthony of the NFL? Because there's going to be a new twist when we talk about football players and rankings and resumes, because there's going to be some NFL players with an opportunity to win a gold medal. We'll dive into that next. It's the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Searching for an We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
In just a few more days of our backyard blow-up keywords where you can register for your chance to win a backyard blow-up $15,000 worth of prizes from the Sports Animal. Talking about a hot tub from Valentine's, swimming pool and spa, an American Home Furniture and Mattress Plus patio set, a pottery set from Jackalope, and a $5,000 gift card from Sin Lawn, plus an annual plan from AAA Pest Control. All you got to do is text the keyword, which we'll give you twice this morning, but first coming up here in just a few minutes. Today's keyword for the backyard blow-up, so stay tuned. It's JJ Buck and Zay Johnson with you here on The Sports Animal. So we're going to have a new debate when it comes to ranking players, because we know you can never be good if you don't win a championship. Right? You get lost. No one thinks of you unless you're on TV like Charles Barkley. If you don't win a championship, you're a scrub. You're no good. You weren't worth it. It was a failure. Everything was awful. But now there's going to be a new twist to it. The Carmelo Anthony twist. Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. Carmelo Anthony was a really good basketball player, but never won a championship. So anytime you think about Melo, kind of sour taste in your mouth, just one of those guys. Wasn't a champion. Didn't have to hire a champion. Game wasn't good enough. This, that, and everything in between. Well, now the NFL is going to have dudes like that. It's a twist, and it's coming. What the heck are we talking about? Well, yesterday the NFL passed the proposal that will allow NFL players to participate in flag football in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. It was a unanimous vote. All 32 owners said yes. And Justin Jefferson was stoked. And maybe it is Justin Jefferson who will be the Carmelo Anthony of the NFL. Justin Jefferson, the Vikings wide receiver, is a global flag ambassador. And he said, I'm just at a loss for words. Just think about the chances of playing in the Olympics and getting a gold medal is a dream. Just reverting back to being a kid and watching the track and field meets, watching basketball win the gold medal. That's something that as a kid I always wanted to be a part of, but football wasn't global. So now that we're expanding the game and going more global, it's pretty cool. Now some of you are like, really? Like flag football? Yeah, because you really can't set up regular football in the Olympics and have a meaningful competition in the month for the Olympics. But why is the NFL so into flag football? Because that is the easiest thing to expand globally. You can play flag football with your friends. It's just like pickup football, right?
Yeah.
And that is why the NFL is pushing, because they know, they want the games to go overseas. Roger Goodell is talking about we could be looking at in the next couple of years at least 16 international games. We have 7 this year. Like, they're going global. They're pushing football everywhere. But you can't just show up and drop helmets and pads off everywhere. So how do you get people involved in football? How do you get them intrigued? There's futsal, pick up basketball, there's a hoop, there's a ball, here's some people, you can go. They're realizing, hey, to kind of get that spirit of football, they're pushing flag football at a high level. You can play the game of football. You don't need a ton of pads. We've all played football at recess where they say, hey, don't tackle. We're tackling, though. It's what you do. But that's why the NFL is so on flag football, because they know that they can't just drop helmets and pads everywhere, but they can drop flags everywhere.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And I think another thing, a big point that's right down that same alley, is when you think about basketball, one of the biggest things that make it so big globally is that everyone can kind of play. No matter what, you can pick up a basketball and go shoot hoops. And I think when it comes to football, usually, obviously, you can't play the same style of football that everyone sees. So by making flag football more popular, you expand the game of football. And that's one thing I always hear Roger Goodell say is he wants to like almost introduce football to more of the world, because he feels like, you go over in Europe, some of them people know American football, but it's not nearly, you say football, you're talking soccer. And a lot of those guys don't even want to be involved with American football just because the physicality, they eat different, the body types are different in a lot of other countries. And there's no point in trying to compete, with the top of the line American football players. But with that being said, remember the little football competition we had with like the kids that were, I think it was in college and younger. I think China beat us.
The USA tackle football, was that like last summer?
Yeah, and we actually lost a couple games.
Glued out. Yeah. So football it's a global sport, but when we're talking like pickup And as you're saying, the ability to make it an international competition, yeah, it's a lot easier to have an international basketball competition that the game mirrors what you see at the highest level than football. And so that's why, flag football is the way for football to get into the Olympics. Now, what we're going to see is the standard style of international flag football, which is 5-on-5 play. So the NFL, what are these rosters going to look like? Now, they still have some things to discuss, of course, negotiations with the NFL Players Association, Olympic officials, the national governing bodies on some of the specifics, the opportunities. But it will be one where only 12 NFL players will be participating in the 2020 Olympics with the 6 alternates. They're talking, 12-person team, 5-on-5. That's where you go. Now, of course, some people aren't in favor of it. You look at Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst. He told ESPN, quote, "I think overall it's a great thing. I'd love it if we kept the NFL players out of it."
I agree.
Like, you don't have that sentiment for basketball. We're talking about flag football. We're talking about an off season. And usually it's July and August we see the Olympics. So guys are ramping up for training camp.
Yeah, it's
to me, if you have the opportunity to win a gold medal, and now it's not going to be talked about the same. Now, yeah, Carmelo Anthony, his gold medal, viewed a little bit different on his resume because you're playing the game of basketball.
Yeah, you're playing
not
the
specifically
same.
playing football, which is why I'm not as opposed as the Packers general manager to these guys playing flag football. Because
what are you really doing? Like,
if your knee goes,
that's
running a route in training camp.
Yes,
that's not much different than just running a flag football route.
Exactly, and that's what I'm scared of. And when you look in football, they always say the worst injuries are the non-contact injuries. I think that's probably amongst all sports, and guys still get hurt in flag football. So, as all of these owners all agreed for this, I hope they are ready to put some things in some contracts.
Someone's going to get hurt, right?
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
You better have the contracts ready for this.
Yeah, you'll have to have some insurance.
Yeah.
Like, if this guy is selected for Olympic flag football,
like, do I want to pay this guy
with guarantees and injury insurance on the contract? That's fair. But we're also talking about 12 dudes, and
you're just 12. Yeah.
Again, it can happen, man. You could be running a route in training camp and go down versus playing in a flag football contest. So it's here in 2028. We're going to be watching NFL players in the Olympics. So who would your 5 be? So I'll give you my 5 real quick. I actually have offense and defense.
Okay.
So I'm rolling out there, and I think 3 years. But my quarterback would be Lamar Jackson. I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs, Lions running back. Give me Jamar Chase, physicality. I'm going Travis Hunter. So I can get a dude that can play both ways in flag football.
Oh, yeah, he's also a flag football legend.
Heck yeah. So give me Travis Hunter. And given the fact it's flag football, you don't need a stout blocker. I'm thinking my snapper to get in the way. I'm going maybe a young tight end like a Brock Bowers, a guy like that. Or go completely off the board, Josh Allen snapping the football. Then you're running 2 quarterback sets in flag football. Because that's huge. The pitching, if you've ever played flag football, things like that. So that's what I'd be looking for at offense. Explosiveness, the physicality, Jamar Chase making the catches, because there's not going to be a ton of contact with flag football. But you're talking, and Travis Hunter going both ways. Now, defensively, give me the defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain. I think in 3 years, still going to be one of the best cover corners in the NFL. Someone like Xavier McKinney, the Packers cornerback, to cover a lot of ground. Kyle Hamilton is a safety, but he can play linebacker. It's flag football, man. You're covering space. Give me Denzel Ward, because Denzel Ward, he's had the concussion issues, but it's flag football. So don't have to worry about contact. And your boy Micah Parsons, rushing the quarterback, will be a flag football legend.
You know what's so weird is, like, number one, even what you just explained to me about, like, the double pitching or something like that, Josh Allen, I'm learning here. So Lamar Jackson seems like an obvious one, because a lot of these guys, you've seen highlights of them, not just on the football field, but that they're shifty in this department. But I don't know if it. I don't think it has to be NFL players, does it? Because I do know when this became a big thing, all of the people who actually are on the flag football teams right now come out the word.
They're not NFL players, absolutely.
And they come out and they're like, "Oh, we're the
but
flag
if you
football
want
players."
This to matter,
you got to use the
be
names.
the NFL players.
Mm-hmm. At least sprinkle them.
Yeah, like I understand that there's dudes that have been grinding.
Yeah,
USA flag football guys that have played international competitions that have played at a really high level. But for this to matter, it's going to be NFL dudes that are playing the Olympics and not you.
Yeah, and Travis, I'm sure if you ask him, he might believe he's a better flag football player than he is an NFL football player. I mean, Travis is, when it comes to flag football, that is his thing. That's why he's got all the little funky routes.
And this makes a ton of sense, too. Because what do these guys do growing up a lot of the time in the offseason?
Flag football.
Well, not necessarily, but 7-on-7.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's that style.
100%.
It's not a ton of contact all the time in the offseason. It's just explosiveness. It's dudes in space. And it's going to be different. And it might get a chuckle from some people because you're like, wait a second. We're really talking about... At this point, 3 years, maybe Jaden Daniels would be your best option, too. Like at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Over someone like Lamar Jackson. But these guys, they're going to be excited. They're going to realize, I don't have to get hit. And I can just be fast and explosive. That's going to be very appealing to these dudes.
Just be careful with those knees, man.
It's got to be careful with the knees all the time. The training was last week that when the Ravens secondary dudes blew his Achilles.
Yeah. And if you're an owner, right, and you got one of these guys coming up for a big contract, do you want to send them off into the summer and give them that contract before the flag football? I mean, do you want to wait till after? You're going to get some of these players like, no, I want guaranteed now because I'm getting ready to go play flag football and I might get hurt. That's the whole spin on things. I'm sure they were thinking of that when they...
But again, it's only potentially 12 dudes that we're looking at.
These are big names, though. I mean, do you think they would go this big? Lamar?
I would try it. Why the heck not? You're saying, dude, like, it's the Olympics, first ever, it's flag football. Like, especially if I'm a quarterback, like, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah, especially not a QB.
It's not Myles Garrett or TJ Watt coming off the edge that can blow me up.
I think something tragic might have to, not tragic, but something really unfortunate would have to happen to someone like an injury before I think people would really
Paul
worry
George
about it.
Snapped his leg in training camp for USA basketball, and they didn't stop playing basketball.
A lot of those guys, LeBron had to pull all the stars out of the woodworks. He's like, all right, guys, enough of this. We got to go get, as soon as they lost to Canada, he's like, nah, we're not.
Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily due to injury.
No, but I think a lot of those players, like, that was a big thing. It's kind of started at the same time as this load management stuff. I think it all came across at the same time.
We can't, again, they're athletes. I understand this isn't where their bread is buttered, but to me, that is low on the list of concerns that the NFL season is going to be ruined because 12 dudes play flag football. Could someone get hurt? Yes. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But, again, it's leading up to training camp. You have a couple of these wide receivers that would just be running routes anyway. Out there trying to win a gold medal. 505-246-0610. Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Are you ready for college football season? ESPN dropped their quarterback rankings. They did all 136 FBS teams. And the Lobos have a ton of question marks on the offense. Where does their quarterback room rank going into next season? I'm going to hit that coming up next right here on the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by Quality by Dealer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Prizes. Well, here's your chance to register for a backyard blow up. Today's keyword is fence. F-E-N-C-E, fence. Text the keyword to 505-246-0610. You can get your chance to register to win the backyard blow up. It is brought to you by The Sports Animal. And you can get a hot tub from Valentine's, swimming pool, and spa, and American Home Furniture and Mattress, plus patio set, a pottery set from Jackalope, a $5,000 gift card from Sinlon, and an annual plan from AAA Pest Control. Prizes over $15,000 worth of stuff will drop in your backyard. And the keyword to enter today is fence, F-E-N-C-E.
You going for it or what?
I would if I
Are you
could.
allowed to?
We are not allowed to. We are not allowed to participate.
I was going to hook up my apartment complex.
In contests on said radio station. That is why everyone text that keyword in right now, because you can participate and win one of the best giveaways we have all year long right here.
Yeah, this is the one.
On the Sports Animal. This one is awesome. 505-246-0610. Where you can text the keyword. You can text us and call us on the Sports Animal Hotline. JJ Buck, Zay Johnson with you. College football TikTok. The countdown is on, and it's never too early to look ahead to the season because most of the transfer market is done. Things are settled in after the spring practice and transfer window. And the one thing you know is quarterbacks. No top tier. So guys we're going to be talking about when it comes to the Heisman Trophy, of course, Cade Klubnik, Clemson, Garrett Nessmeyer, LSU, John Mateer at Oklahoma, who, by the way, the Lobos beat Mateer and Washington State here in Albuquerque last year. And now Mateer is going to be the starting quarterback for the Sooners. Drew Aller, Penn State. And, the South Carolina, I don't think we're looking at Heisman Trophy, but Lenora Sellers is a dynamic player that they have in Tier 1 right now. And this is article by ESPN. They dropped their quarterback tiers for next season in college football.
I feel like Drew Aller is going to be that guy where he's going to have an average season, but there's going to be the scouts that just love something about him. Kind of like that Mitchell Trubisky a little bit. Not that Mitchell is average, but Drew Aller, I don't know if I saw it from him the last couple of years, but he's also in the age group where a lot can change. So
yeah, Aller is getting talked up a ton this year in the draft process, knowing that he wasn't in the draft class, but they're saying, oh, wait till next year. It's Drew Aller. It's Arch Manning. By the way, at some point in time, Manning's going to have to play some football for, like your last name's Manning. Got it. Are we just drafting dudes off their last name now?
I hope not.
I want to see Arch Manning before I think next year's quarterback class is going to be that much better.
Yeah, if the draft just showed us one thing, is that they're not going to draft after their last name.
Yeah. Sanders, how'd that work out?
Yeah.
Fell to the 5th round. But so, your Tier 1 quarterbacks, Heisman Trophy contenders. And by the way, Tier 1B and Arch Manning's there. So it's
Tier 1B?
The hype is insane. Yeah.
He's not Tier 1A?
No. So
Wow.
that Tier 1, it's the players I named off.
They're probably thinking what you're thinking. All right, we got to see him play first.
Let's play some football. You see the talent, but let's let the man play some football. It's not Quinn Ewers' show anymore in Texas. So there's exciting players at the top. Then you got to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
Uh-oh.
And then you get to the final tier, and it is Tier 20 on this list.
20 tiers. Wow.
And they titled it Nowhere But Up. And that is where you find the New Mexico Lobos quarterback room. And indeed, nowhere but up. Because the 3 players that they've listed are the 3 that I think will battle to be the starting quarterback for the Lobos. And guess what? All 3 of these dudes were not participating in spring practice. Jack Lane, the Idaho transfer, elbow, he was held out most of the time. Cole Welliver, the UConn transfer, signed after spring ball. He was a freshman at UConn. He comes in. And then Toa Favee is the high school player that they like his athleticism and his upside. So the quarterback room for the Lobos still to be and the starter is still to be determined. And we were talking about one of the things that stood out in spring ball was I'm not sure if the quarterback is on campus yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, Jack Lane was there. We just didn't see him in the open practice, just didn't see him in the scrimmages. And it's understandable because it's a giant question mark. I think offensively with the running back room, there's 4 dudes that could run the football at a high level. And we know the style of play. Kochek coming in, quote-unquote, pro style. Well, what does that mean? Well, in this case, it is under center, essentially 2 tight ends, running the football. Because I think pro style, it's such a vague term these days. Because you watch pro football, and there's space in the field, right? They're pushing the football downfield. So it is just going to be an offense where it's 11 personnel. You're going to see a lot. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers.
High formation, pistol maybe.
Bring in a fullback, maybe an extra tight end.
I like it.
So running the football, which could take some pressure off the quarterback position.
Now, is that how he ran his team last year, or is that just a change?
He's more based on the run game.
Okay, cool.
And so that is something that could help if, again, another rebuild offensive line for the Lobos. But you look at the running back room, and you don't have to, in this case, project. You've seen it. Like, those dudes have played. Even if it's at the FCS level, they've played at a really high level. Or, look at the Sam Houston transfer who was, the freshman of the year last year. Like, there's guys that have a ceiling, plus, all right, we've seen them produce something. So that's why I am confident in the run game. And I think that will, of course, help whoever wins the job at the quarterback position, taking a lot of pressure off of them, just style of play, the ability. But that's, what we're looking at. That's the biggest question mark.
Yeah, if he was freaking out about the quarterback room, I mean, just with all the players that would be grateful for the opportunity to play college football. I mean, I'm sure if he truly was freaking out about it, then he would have had more guys there. But I think the reason why he not that he was chillax, and there's guys on the roster, there's just some unfortunate things, you said elbow. But, with the pro style and the way it's being ran, even if those guys aren't able to practice, but they're still watching, it's all just important to still get a feel of how everything's supposed to run. But you definitely want to make sure that these guys, even maybe not even just in camp or in practice, but they need to be throwing with their receivers as soon as, they're able to. So as long as some behind-the-scenes throwing's going on, just getting that timing down, then if there is a strong running game, we shouldn't see the effect too much of them not being there in spring.
Yeah, there's still a strong opportunity, when it comes to finding a quality quarterback in this room going in. But so Tier 20, what are some other schools that are having these question marks? Well, Hawaii's there, but we also saw Micah Alejado have the best game of his freshman season against the Lobos in that final game. Absolutely torched Lobos defense. I definitely think there's some upside there, but we're talking, there's Kennesaw State, Kent State, Tulsa, Western Michigan, and a familiar name with UL Monroe because it's Aiden Armenta. Aiden Armenta, former Lobo quarterback, La Cueva kid, followed Bryant Vincent to UL Monroe, started last season, projected to be another starter this year. So tip of the cap to the local product. He was still a starter in college football, but that's where the Lobos are right now. Just giant question marks at the quarterback position. The fact that the starting quarterback probably didn't take any snaps in spring football. And that's why they went out and got Cole Welliver after spring ball. It is something that Coach Eck has talked about. He likes to have 5 or 6 guys at the position. Does that mean all 5 or 6 guys are starter quality? No. It's 5 or 6 quarterbacks at the University of New Mexico. But it's the depth and potential when you look at Jack Lane. All right, he's been there, done that, but is he going to be healthy enough to run this offense that he is familiar with because he followed everyone from Idaho? It's a true freshman coming in, Toa Favee, and Cole Welliver, guy that spent last year at UConn looking for his opportunity. And quickly, before we hit the break, so where would New Mexico State be? Tony Sanchez, trying to get things back on track. Well, one tier up in Tier 19, they have New Mexico State because Logan Fife, who's had some experience, been a few places at Fresno State, amongst his other stops. He's there. Parker Awad last year got some playing time. I think Fife is the leader in the clubhouse for the Aggies. So that's where they stand. Nowhere but up for these programs and the quarterback position. 505-246-0610. And college football, very intriguing when it comes to quarterback position right now. It is the opening drive here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Kick off summer with Memorial Day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66.
I think one of the things we'll notice too watching local football next year is a reminder of how ridiculous Devin Dampier was last year. Like, that could have been the single greatest quarterback season in Lobo football history. He was conference first team all-conference quarterback. Was one of 2 quarterbacks to throw every pass for their team last season. The other was at Rutgers. Rushed for over 1,000 yards. And oh, by the way, when it comes to Devin Dampier, no quarterback was more elusive under pressure, as Dampier was sacked once for every 25 dropbacks. That's nearly 8 more dropbacks per sack than the next best player.
Yeah, although we may not see that, out of the quarterback, hopefully, the more balanced approach translates into more success. Because although, I feel like Dampier did that because he had to, And it was really nice having someone that was able to do that. But I think it's really hard to win a lot of football games playing that style. It's very impressive to him for staying healthy for majority of that time, because he was carrying the ball so much and he was taking a lot of hits. But ideally, if the team can figure out, like we were talking about earlier, the balanced approach, a formula where the quarterback doesn't have to be Superman and the team is able to play balanced, complementary football, then, you never know.
You never know. That's ideal. But you can play Superman in college football at the group of 5 level.
Oh, yeah.
And be successful. And it's why Devin Dampier has the opportunity now at Utah. And we'll see how he looks in the Big 12. I think he's going to look pretty good. But, man, it was when you kind of take a step back and you look at what he did last year, it was insane. And if there was any bit of defense, that would have been a bowl team last year. But it just wasn't the case where Lobos coming up a game, 2 games short really, but right there at the very end. Hawaii on the line, couldn't get it done. But now you're looking at moving forward. Yeah, it's balanced approach, offense, running game.
Time of possession, too. If you think your defense is going to be flawed, then a solid run game, eat up the clock because you score real fast and you're putting your defense out there quickly again. And now they got to, chip away at the clock.
Yeah. And here's another one. Most touchdowns accounted for the past 2 seasons, returning quarterback. You know who has the 3rd most?
All of FBS?
All of FBS football. Quarterback position.
Would it be a Mr. Dampier?
Nope. It'd be public enemy number 1 for Lobo fans.
Oh.
The local boy.
Wow.
Diego Pavia, 61 total touchdowns with the past 2 seasons. That's the 3rd most in college football at the quarterback position. And Diego Pavia has some ridiculous numbers himself. And he's coming back because he's never leaving Vanderbilt. He can play for as long as he can. And he has put up big-time numbers over the last 2 seasons. He is Zay Johnson. I'm JJ Buck. Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain.
610 KNML, the sports animal. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Zimbietta and JJ Buck.
Oh, well, I thought it was looking like it could happen. However, not the case. No changes coming for the NFL postseason in terms of seeding. The Detroit Lions have withdrawn their proposal, their reseeding proposal, because, it happened last year. When it comes to division winners being guaranteed a playoff game, the Detroit Lions submitted a proposal that would change that. And it would be record-based. Now, the Lions, they were the number 1 team in the NFC last year. It didn't directly affect them, but they knew and know how tough that division is going to be for the next few seasons. We'll see if J.J. McCarthy can hit the ground running for the Vikings. We still got Jordan Love. The Packers are an 11-win team. The arrow's pointing up now with Ben Johnson and Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. So the Lions had a reseeding proposal put in, and it would be, seeded based on record. That if you win your division, you get into the playoffs, but you're not guaranteed a home game. Right now, division winners are guaranteed the top 4 spots. And that's why we saw the Los Angeles Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were both 10-7. Those are the 3 and 4 seeds. And then you had a 14-win Minnesota team, 5th seed, a 12-win Commanders team, the 6th seed, an 11-win Packers team, the 7th seed. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to play divisions and have 6 games of your schedule every single year be dedicated to your division, okay, maybe, not me, I'm fine. If you win your division, you get into the playoffs.
Exactly.
But I don't like it guaranteeing you a home game. Now, they will say, well, you'd have to dramatically change the schedule. Why? You don't have, it's because it won't be fair, this or that. It's already not. And this is what we have, is if you win a division, and it could be a terrible division that year, you're guaranteed a home playoff game. Just switch it. And it doesn't dramatically affect strength of schedule. Because why are you not worried about that right now? Why are you not worried about a bad division guaranteeing you a home game? But yet in this proposal, you're like, well, then we'd have to readjust the entire scheduling formula. No, you just switch it. You say, all right, if you want to play divisions and still wait those games, you win your division, you get a playoff spot, but it does not guarantee a home game. To me, it seems pretty simple, but I can see why there's pushback. I can see why getting 24 owners on board to pass this proposal would be tough, because if you are the Houston Texans that were 10-7 and got a playoff game, the Buccaneers that were 10-7, the Rams that were 10-7, they're like, of course we're going to continue to roll with division champs and get that home playoff game.
Yeah, I think you should leave this how it is, because you got to look at the tiers of goals that teams set out at the start of the season. And I think in any level of sport, especially in the NFL, I guarantee the first thing they say is, of course, we want to win the Super Bowl, but the number one goal is win your division. So I feel like if you go out, win your division, that's kind of the incentive that comes with it. Obviously, you're in the playoffs, but that home game is just more of a motivation to go out and try and win your division. I feel like if they were to switch this up, then I don't know if teams would necessarily care so much about winning their divisions. Like
they would care, because it's how you get into the playoffs.
So you get into the playoffs that way, but also, like, say for last year for the NFC North, like the Bears and Lions and Packers, I'm sure all 3 of those teams knew that they would get in the playoffs somehow just because of the whole little wild card situation. But I feel as if the top of that division wasn't guaranteed that home playoff game, I don't know how competitive it would have been and how much they would have cared about getting to number one. Like, if you're the third spot in your division, but you've won 10 games and you know you're going to get in, and there's no home playoff game guaranteed if you win the division, like, do you necessarily, like, what's the point? I'm in the playoffs already.
Well, the same thing's happening. What's the point at the end of the season if you have a 2-game lead in your division? You're not.
You get the home playoff game.
Yeah, but you're not playing hard at the end of the year.
No. Yeah, so you've already earned it. Like, you've earned the right to relax.
But to me, what would the point be? It's to get the only bye. Like in this case, Minnesota and Detroit playing.
That definitely helps. At
the end of the season, they just had ridiculous records. They're 14-2 at that point in time. We saw the Vikings and Lions play. Lions win, and you get a 15-2 team. To me, it's, if you're going to play divisions, yeah, you can still weight them. But all schedules aren't created equal.
Yeah,
all divisions aren't created equal.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're going to see 14 win wildcard teams all that often. Because you go to the AFC, right? And the wildcard teams were 11, 10, and 10. So it wasn't as dramatic. And I can understand, maybe this would be a one every few year conversation where you have a wild card team like Minnesota that won 14 games.
It might happen again in that division.
But I just think, in football, that this would be a simple change to reward wins. Like, all right, you're still going to play division games. You win your division, you can get into the playoffs, but you're not guaranteed a home game. You know what? That's a 4-game difference. So you're telling me those 4 more wins don't matter just because they weren't division wins. That's what you're telling me with the Vikings versus the Bucs and Rams.
You mean like me, or just like the NFL in general?
Everyone.
Yeah.
In this conversation.
I do believe that a lot of those teams in the NFC North were in an unfair position towards the end of the season because they had won so many games, and you're still, talking about wild card, and you're looking at things that I don't think they should have to worry about. But then again, I don't know how often that happens, and you have three teams that are that dominant in the same division, and usually it doesn't because they have to play each other. But I don't know. In my opinion, the NFC North is going to be the same way, if not even more intense.
So is it one of the biggest changes? No, I think it's just one where just reward winning, even if it's not necessarily the division.
Yeah.
Like it's a 14-win team that had to go on the road just because of divisions. But the NFL is not budging, and I understand how it would be hard to get owners on board because they're like, I'm not giving up a potential home playoff game. If I win the division, we get a playoff game. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. Maybe if the schedule goes to 18, then you'd see a push to discuss, okay, division games weighted a little bit less. 6 of an 18-game schedule. We could see a change at that point in time. But right now, it is status quo. And it's not, like I said, I don't think it's a big issue. It's just one of those little things I think makes a ton of sense. But then I absolutely understand what you're saying. Like, the divisions matter. You want to put emphasis on divisions, and you're going to have these teams playing divisions. Well, then give them a bigger reward for that. And so I see why there's not an appetite for the league to change that. So that proposal was withdrawn this morning. The other vote that's going to happen, as it's owner meetings week, is the tush push. And this is one where I'm with Philadelphia on this, man.
Oh. You are a shut up and play kind of guy. Like, stop complaining, just get it done.
Like, yeah, they don't run it 85 times a game.
I saw them do it 3 times in a row once.
They do it at the goal line.
Yeah.
They do it in short yardage situations. And they are really good at it. They just happen to have a quarterback that can squat more than everyone else.
And here's also the problem. There's offensive coordinators, every single one of them, that is not doing the tush push. Yeah. It's sitting in their office, and they've got too much pride. And they've got too much, old school. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do it the real way. We're going to run an actual play. And I think that's more so what this is. I think every team could go out and try to do this. But I think some teams have tried. The Bills tried. Didn't work for them. Actually, those are just QB sneak. But I feel like offensive coordinators are looking at the Eagles, and it's like that trend that they're reluctant to hop on. It's that new thing that's came out, and you see everybody going to buy, and you're like, I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to stay original.
Yeah, and it's one where it's been since like 2005 that they changed the rule, because there was the pushing and pulling rule, where you can't push in or pull players. But where I get into the gray area is, at what point do we blow the whistle then? Are we stopping every play after initial contact then? If we get back into this, are we going to have to overanalyze every play? Like, no, we're going to let them play football. Or you're just overanalyzing the tush push in this scenario. They're going to go back to the old rule, which bans all pushing and pulling of a player. And all that does, it just means more whistles from the referees.
Yeah.
When do you stop plays? Is it what happens if there's 2 defenders trying to tackle a player? Some guy comes up to maybe hit one of the defenders, but then he makes contact with the runner. Is the play immediately dead then? Because that's pushing a runner. Like, yes, I'm overanalyzing this in my head because I think it's ridiculous that the NFL has gone so over the rails that these teams are like, well, we just don't like this play because it's so effective that they're banning it.
I feel like what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to treat this the same way they did with the catch rule after the whole Des caught it thing. And they're going to have to be very, very detailed and think of every situation and make sure that it is all in the rule book and it is completely understood, so you don't have controversial calls. Because I did see somebody posted like a highlight reel of all the plays that would be negated. Not every single one, but just like a display of some plays that would be negated if this rule was to pass. And a lot of it does suck. A lot of it's crazy. But you also don't want a running back who's falling and then a player keeps him from falling and then just starts pushing him forward or something like that. I think maybe as soon as you see progress stop, maybe that should be when the ref could blow the whistle, once you see his progress stop. But you also got these strong running backs who, they may be absorbing a blow, and then just like physics start to work. He absorbs the energy, he slowly starts driving his legs, and then now he pushes forward.
So you're saying it was when 2-3 other offensive players join? Is that when they're going to blow the whistle? We'll see. But all we know is it looks like the tush push is going to be banned. It looks like there's enough momentum. The proposal, which was submitted earlier by the Green Bay Packers, they rewrote it to clarify it, as you're discussing, Zay. Just one of those rules that you're going to have to dot the I's and cross the T's. But
Jason Kelsey's going in there. You see that?
Yeah, Kelsey actually spoke to the owners about the tush push, and now Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata said, quote, "We'll go without the push if the proposal passes." He was just more upset about how it's a stupid name, but he's like, whatever, man, we're going to play football. Yeah, they're the Super Bowl champs, and they're not just the champs because of the tush push. Jalen Hurts declined comment on this situation, and Nick Sirianni pointed out previous comments about being a little insulting to ban a play that the Eagles are successful at, and I agree with that.
You know what I really think they should do, now that I just thought of this? They should allow the tush push, but they should treat it, kind of how they did the onside kicks, which I also hate, how you have to alert the other team. This is what we're doing it. Yeah, they've tried to do like some fake tush push pitches. Like
that's what I love.
Because with the tush push, you're demanding so much presence inside. I mean,
because you want to get them to stop it, sell out, and then force them to do something different. And maybe they mess it up on the pitch or trying to run some option out of it.
Which has happened. They fumbled a couple times on that tush push trying to get too cute with it. So I don't know. It's really a tough one. I'm glad I'm not one of the guys that has to make that vote, because it
just feels like, we watched the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and they're good in short yardage situations.
Great.
But that's like really what all the owners banded together this year. Like, that's what got everyone on board. Okay, ban the tush push. Here we are. It looks like it's going away, so it's back to the traditional quarterback sneak, fullback handoff for short yardage situations. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. Coming up at 9:30, voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, joins us. We have Lobo Baseball Mountain West Tournament action for you right here on the Sports Animal today at 2, New Mexico and San Jose State. So we'll talk some baseball with Robert Portnoy coming up at 9:30. Coming back on the other side, Ant-Man, he's that dude. But can he do it alone? Can he find a way to get the Timberwolves back in this series? It's only one game. But if you've been watching, you know the Thunder, they're just different. And Anthony Edwards, he says he's different. But he's not right now.
You bring Michael Jordan different if you want to pull this off. 40 points a game.
It's the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep.
Can Ant-Man get you a game or two? Yes, he's that dude. But the Thunder are that team. And the Thunder are taking out good teams because they are a great team right now. OKC in the moment has another level, has another gear. Look at that second half. Because it's what they did to the Nuggets multiple times. And the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, was able to get the Nuggets to Game 7. And we saw what happened. Yeah, there's Aaron Gordon playing on one leg. But the Thunder blew them out the build. 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Nuggets starters are on the bench in the Game 7. Like, the Thunder left, no doubt. The Thunder grew up quickly in that second round. We saw it last night, down 4 at halftime. They said, all right, we're not messing around anymore. Outscored in Minnesota 70-40. And OKC's special right now. Yeah, the average age of the team is 24, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's been there, done that. He's been in the league a minute. Your role players, Alex Caruso, he's 31. Isaiah Hartenstein has been around the league. And so it's not just youth, it's incredible talent and athleticism. And this team learned how to win. Now, yes, Game 7 against the Nuggets, you're looking at Nikola Jokic, you're looking at a team, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, they've won a championship. And there was no worry and no doubt from the Thunder. I think Anthony Edwards is on that top tier of NBA players right now. I think the league is in a really good spot. And we're going to have a conversation about quarterback rankings in the NFL. And we analyze the quarterback position so much, we think that there's not enough good players. No, it's in a really good spot. If you look at the quarterback depth in the NFL, I feel the same way about star players in the NBA. Like, we're in a really good spot. Look at the fact that there's been 7 different champs over the last 7 years. You have your traditional powers that are winning, but you have star players in Denver, Milwaukee. You go back to Toronto.
Yep.
That won championships. And we're seeing that right now with Oklahoma City. And yet Anthony Edwards you rank these stars, right? The number one players on each team in the conference finals, and everyone picked Anthony Edwards. And I think they could lose this series in 5 games.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing is with the Thunder, again, kind of what I said earlier, they've got this really, really good way of playing basketball where the team comes at you as a whole. Like, it's not super individual. They come at you like an actual team should. Whereas, the Nuggets, I feel like if you imagine them, they're coming at you. It's Jokic, obviously, spearheading the thing. But then it's just maybe Murray. It was maybe Aaron Gordon on the side. But I think the Thunder is one big balanced machine led by Shea, who's just scoring a buttload of points. And when you got him scoring, and then anytime he passes, it's almost like, I feel like if you took Shea off the Thunder, I think this is what also is a little weird, makes things weird in the MVP conversations. If you take him off the Thunder, I think they're still a very, very good team, but he just puts them way over the top because he's scoring so many points. They're long, they play good defense, they've got great communication. You can tell the chemistry's up. It's just real tough. It's real tough to go and take out a team like OKC if you don't have, if there is a team that can handle the Thunder, the Timberwolves have that formula. They also have great team chemistry. They've got a good overall team led by Ant, but he's got to score like Shea, if not more than Shea, because his supporting cast is not nearly as good as SGA's supporting cast.
Yeah, and right now for the Thunder, it's how do you slow them down? And that is really hard to do because they turn you over. And the thing in the playoffs is the defense takes you from good to great. And yeah, there's great pieces on the Thunder. And what they're doing defensively, they're averaging almost 26 points per game off of turnovers. And it is the defense in the postseason that matters. Sometimes it's hard to see, man. And we've watched the NBA for how long? In this kind of new era where there's points, there's offense, and people say they don't play defense. No, it's actually also the fact that these are the best offensive players.
Yeah, and also the refs have done a great job these playoffs, letting them play. It's got super physical these playoffs.
Playoff basketball is a little bit different. It's a physicality. But even when you're scoring a ton of points, the defensive metrics matter. The defensive metrics stand out for the Thunder across the board. That's why they're the best team in basketball all season long. That's why they picked it up in the postseason. And they're pushed to 7 games by Nikola Jokic and a good Nuggets team.
And if you're playing good defense, you're the Thunder, and you're making guys have to work for it. We saw this with the Timberwolves and the Lakers. When you're making guys have to work a lot harder on offense than they're expecting to have to work, then that translates. It translates straight over to the other side of the basketball because now they're more worn out because they didn't expended more energy over on the offensive side of the ball, and now they really can't play defense, and then that's when games get really lopsided.
Yeah, and what's impressive too is the Thunder did just come off a Game 7, and all they did was go out there and they forced Minnesota to settle. They forced Minnesota into the jump shooting team. Minnesota looked tired, and Anthony Edwards isn't 100%, and the ankle's been a problem, but he came back out there. But only 13 shots. And you've been saying it. And the only way for Minnesota to have a chance in this series, if Anthony Edwards goes nuclear.
Yeah. And he did say, he's got to shoot more. And what just happened
but
to the...
That's the challenge then, right? It's like, okay, you need to go nuclear, but...
How?
Yeah.
If you're going against a really good overall team defense, how? And what just happened to the Thunder is the same thing that happened to the Nuggets. The Nuggets had a good Game 7, roll over, go in there to OKC, who had been resting, get a big game off on OKC. Now OKC comes off a big Game 7. They come into Minnesota, has been resting. But I don't think this series will flip the way this last series flipped.
Yeah, I think the Thunder are just at a different level. It's evident watching them in the postseason and really growing up through that Nuggets series. And, it's when I look at Minnesota, and the questions are going to be, is Anthony Edwards good enough? Can he win a championship? Can Anthony Edwards be a number one player? Yeah. And if you're Minnesota, I also take a step back and go, well, what could we have done different? Like, they made a run with Karl Anthony Towns last year. They switched things up. They brought in Julius Randle. I think that trade ended up being so much better than they anticipated. Julius Randle has been phenomenal.
Yeah, he has.
And so if you're Minnesota, there's not a lot you necessarily have to change. You're in back-to-back conference finals. You have a coach. You have that dude. You just have to see if you can slow down OKC, get back in this series, make it a grind. But I just have that special feeling about the Thunder this season. And the feeling I have, though, about the Eastern Conference Finals is it's going to be a classic series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be, you're going to see the clips. They're going to show Reggie Miller. They're going to show Patrick Ewing. You're going to see Madison Square Garden.
Spike Lee.
In the 90s. You're going to see all those clips leading up to it.
The choke signal.
8 points, 9 seconds, Reggie Miller. They're going to talk about all this because this series is going to have that vibe. This series is going to have that flavor. It's going to be a throwback series, a new era classic. 7 games, Knicks and Pacers. So I'm expecting us to be sitting there, getting ready to watch a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden with a trip to the NBA Finals on the line.
Imagine Hallie hitting a big shot in Madison Square, then hitting the choke signal to the. Oh man, that'd be great. And
all
also,
the potential.
They're involved with this WWE thing, so if they're really smart, they'll find a way to add a little bit of extra spice.
Yeah, Brunson and Halliburton. We've seen them in a WWE ring. It has the makings to be an epic series. Just a phenomenal conference finals for the NBA. And we come back to another side. I want to talk about, parity versus dynasties. We got into it a little bit yesterday, but Colin Cowherd has been talking about this a lot.
Oh gosh.
And how Cowherd, I'm right here on the Sports Animal. He's like anti-parity. He thinks that the reason people don't watch basketball is because any team can win, which is crazy to me because I think, like, as fans, isn't that what you want? Parity or dynasties? Or why not have both? It is the opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
This message brought to you by Sandia Golf Club.
It is golf at its...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
The 2025 Western Conference Finals are the first since 1996 not to feature a team from Texas or California. Wow. So which two teams played in 96? Now, hint, one of them has since relocated.
96 it was? Okay, so it's going to be Bulls?
No, Western Conference Finals.
Oh, okay.
It was the first time since 96 a team from Texas or California is not.
Was it Utah?
So I'm going Utah, Seattle. I haven't looked at the answer.
Uh-huh.
The Utah's good. So I'm going Utah and Seattle. So those are the hint with relocation. So let's. Yep, Supersonics over the Jazz in 7 games.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Stockton.
Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, the relocation hint made it easy. I think it's got to be Seattle, because the Supersonics became the Thunder.
Yeah, so it's not I think it's a good thing for the league. Like I think it's all about balance. It's all about balance.
Here's the thing. I don't know what people want sometimes in sports or in sports talk radio. And I've been doing this forever. So Colin Cowherd knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He is very good. I like Colin Cowherd. There's a reason he's a syndicated talk show host, has been on ESPN, is on Fox Sports, has a daily show on FS1. I get it.
You know how much you got to like hearing yourself talk? He can go for he's been going years.
It's a lot of talk. It's what we do. We have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cowherd, which I don't understand why he's been so on this recently. Like, his main thing, he just can't stop talking about NBA ratings, and people don't care because there's not a dynasty. Like, and he keeps going to the NFL. NFL, I get it. NFL butters the bread. NFL, I've had people try to get me to do a 3-hour NFL show in this time slot and be like, global basketball, whatever. Like, I get the NFL is the king.
Yeah.
But you can't compare everything to the NFL.
No.
And if ratings are down a little bit, yeah, basketball has some questions to answer. But in sports, there's fan bases all across the country. There's professional teams in multiple cities. And you understand that, yeah, the Lakers, the Celtics, New York, the ratings will go up. Those are name brand teams. But if everything is just based on ratings, and we're going to compare everything to the NFL, then nothing is ever going to matter. Then there's no reason to talk about anything. There's no reason to mention the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. If you're telling me that it's a negative, which Colin Cowherd has been saying really for the last 3-4 weeks, that's a negative that there's not a dynasty in basketball. That's a negative that the Boston Celtics aren't going to win back-to-back titles. That, well, there's no one to root against. How can people enjoy something if there's not a villain, if there's not something to root against? Well, LeBron James is still in the league. He just happens to be out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one dude that people like to root against right now. Like, I don't think the sport is broken. Now, it doesn't mean it's perfect, but I actually love this because the NFL tries to sell you hope, but it's not. 9 of the last 11 Super Bowls, it's been Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, which is fine. But that to me doesn't make it better. Yeah, there's teams you have to chase down. But I like the direction the NBA has gone.
Yeah, I feel like it's with balance. You look at these teams that are in there; they're all young players, and how do players get to the point where everyone wants to watch them? You have to start winning championships. Things have to happen, and also, I remember hearing this topic come up on this show a few days ago, last week, about like how many players are transcendent right now and how it is a low amount. But I think a big reason is this goes into your point about how good offense is in general. I feel like the skill gap is closing. I feel like, everyone, not the skill gap is closing, but I think it's a lot harder for someone just to be way better than the rest of the league at something. Unless your physical ability, like your attributes, like say Wemby. Like he can be by far the best shot blocker because of the way his body is made up. But like for a shooter, even Steph right now, for this next generation coming up, it's going to be really hard for one of these guys just to be by far the number one at something. I feel like now there will always be multiple people that pour into a category that are good at something. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a good take because I think that's a positive for the league.
Mm-hmm.
That you can have a conversation about, is the best player in basketball in Denver? Is the best player in basketball in Milwaukee? Is the future of basketball in San Antonio? Yeah, the Spurs won a ton of championships, but people love to complain about that team, right? Oh, well, they win championships. Oh, they're boring, yada, yada, yada. Like, at some point in time, if you're going to have a league with 30-plus teams, the NBA is absolutely on the right path. Now, basketball's a long season. Basketball, hockey, baseball, you're never going to pop in the regular season. Football is a special beast. Football is 17 weeks, week to week. It is the game. It is the thing in town. But if we have to have this conversation where we compare everything to football, nothing's ever going to matter.
Yeah,
and it's just going to feel like everything's a joke and you don't like this. If you want dynasties, that's okay. But to me, that doesn't mean basketball can't be exciting because there's not a dynastic team. We're looking at an era where, as you just said, it's Anthony Edwards, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's Nikola Jokic, it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You still got LeBron balling with Luka Doncic in LA. The Celtics just won a championship. You have your major market team. The New York Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. To me, this checks the boxes of what should interest a sports fan.
Exactly. And it's not like people have to understand just because those teams are not there this year does not mean that they won't be there next year. And also put yourself in Adam Silver's shoes. You think just because the Lakers went out first round that next year they're not still going to be one of the biggest ratings draw? Like they still will be. So what this does is, if what you think is going to happen, the Eastern Conference Finals turns out to be a classic, say the Western Conference Finals, let's say Ant does score 40 or 50 a couple times and they win a couple games, and we got a great Western Conference Finals and it turns out to be great finals. Next year, what's already happened with the Pacers, they're going to have more eyes already. Halliburton's going to have more respect next year already. Ant has got his respect. Brunson has earned a lot more respect from beating the Celtics. And then you got Ant, who's known as the legend killer right now. So next year when this rolls around, these four teams will have more ratings, and the teams that had all the ratings pool will still have the ratings pool. So all it's going to do is generate more ratings in totality for the NBA for next season.
Regular season is always going to be a challenge when you're playing 82 games. But the league itself, it gets to the postseason, it pops. I think the NBA is in a really good spot. I don't need dynasties. I'm okay with a little both. We have our traditional champions. I've watched the Celtics and Lakers win titles during this run. We've had the out-of-market or big-time market
Milwaukee,
teams win
Toronto.
Championships. Milwaukee, Toronto, Denver. Like, that is positive for sport. I like it. Now, I understand, well, dynasties in the NFL, you can't compare everything to the NFL, or everything is going to lose and nothing is going to matter. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal Hotline and text line. We'll take your calls after this right here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Season ESPN did their ranking of all 136 FBS quarterbacks. It was a tier ranking. Interesting stuff, especially in the Mountain West Conference. A lot of turnover, which also means a lot of opportunity.
See, the Lobos are projected to win like one game or something. It's crazy. Carlos told me that. I feel like he's pretty.
Well, last year, they blew through that.
Exactly.
Well, a little different schedule this year. 505-246-0610. Rudy, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it is a little different schedule this year. Michigan and UCLA, two of the first three games.
Oh.
That's a really, really tall order. What you hope is you just don't get beat up in those games. You hope that you're fresh enough in the beginning of the season and that you can play some kids and that it doesn't get out of control.
Go on getting upset.
Man, that's a tall order. You know, I'll be out there in Michigan because that's my other alma mater. And I just want to see how our Lobos react to 100,000 people. Hopefully they'll accept the challenge. And, you know, Jason Kochek played in that stadium against Michigan, so I don't think he's going to be afraid or intimidated. Then best of luck for the baseball team tonight. I hope they get that first game. If they get the first game, great. And then my final thoughts about dynasties. Dynasties are great when you're the fan. Dynasties really suck if you're not a fan of that team and you're a fan of, well, you know, like you look at what's going on with Colorado and baseball. I'd like to see them have success. It's terrible when you're already 19 games out, and here's the Dodgers trying to gun for another championship. So, as a Dodgers fan, I love dynasties.
Yeah.
As a Rockies fan, I hate them.
Rudy, appreciate the phone call. And that's it. I'm okay with both. I don't think a sport has to have one to be good. I don't think basketball is not in a good spot just because there's not a dynasty, just because the Bulls haven't won 6 championships in 8 years. I think the sport's in a good spot. And we come back on the other side, we're going to look at NFL quarterback situations and why that the NFL is in a really good spot when it comes to quarterback play, despite it being the most important, yes, but also the most overanalyzed position in the sport, because it will continue to kind of play out what we're talking about. You want hope as a fan. You want to have a chance, and you have that right now in the NBA, and can you get there in the NFL? The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction Safety Company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Oh, Anthony Edwards is going to have to go nuclear. Anthony Edwards scored 30 points last year. That was his game high in Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. But we're talking like 40, 45, maybe even a 50 burger. Steal a game from the Thunder. Zay Johnson, JJ Buck with you. Adrian holding it down on ProView Networks. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Channel. So I think, the NBA is in a really good spot that we are watching. The Pacers and Knicks. There's the old school flair there, but you got the big market team, the New York Knicks. The Pacers been good. The potential to have a great season. Back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. The growth of Oklahoma City. Minnesota being successful. I think that's really good for the league. And then we look at, the NFL right now. They've been the league that sells that parity, that sells the hope. And yeah, we do see a lot of turnover. And we see new playoff teams each year. We've seen rookie quarterbacks change franchises over the last few years. C.J. Stroud in Houston. Jaden Daniels in Washington last year. And it's what, the NFL sells, is it can be you. Well, it can be you if you have Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. That's been really the theme of, 9 of the last 11 Super Bowls. That's been the quarterback in the Super Bowl. But you can win, man. We've watched the Eagles win multiple Super Bowls from Nick Foles to Jalen Hurts. Matthew Stafford has dropped in there. But it's what you want from sports, is a little bit of everything. You want some dynasties, those teams to root against, the villains for you, but then the hope. And that's why there's so many fan bases. That's why things are spread out. And what we're seeing in the NBA, I think we can definitely see it moving forward in the NFL when we look at the quarterback position. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line for you this morning. Mike, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Mike?
Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call. Couldn't agree with you more, man. The NBA conference finals are fantastic. I love seeing all the parity. I liked the game last night. Super stoked for the game tonight. I think that, like you just now said, that Brunson and Halliburton are two top clutch guys in the league, and it should be a really fantastic series. I think that the Knicks are going to win it. I think they're going to win it in 6, and I think it's Knicks and Oklahoma City in the big mix. I wish it was Anthony Edwards. I think that he's the next star. I feel like he's the big star, but I just don't know if he's got the team to put it together to get the finals. But my real reason is how stupid is this ban on the tush push? I mean, are you joking me? And plus what you were saying like earlier, when the running back stops his momentum, you don't want linemen carrying. Man, this is a team game. The linemen get I just cannot get behind the banning of the tush push. Not one bit. To me, it's like crying. It's like complaining. It sounds to me the people that cry about the tush push are the same people that cry and say that Messi is the greatest soccer player ever. Like, give me a break. You must have never watched a highlight show in your entire life. The tush push should not be banned. I really just can't get over that enough. And I think that it's a sign that, you've got something good that's working. Whenever you have something good that's working, you know that it's good because everybody around you is going to be hating on it. They're going to be wanting you to say, oh, man, we got to shut that down. We can't let that slide. Just my thoughts in the morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Have a great day.
Hot take.
I'm with you on the tush push, man. It just feels like such sour grapes. Like, it's hard to stop at short yard situations. It's bad for the game. It doesn't look good. It's not safe, really. It's just, you can't stop it right now. It's not going to be around forever. But that's the decision the NFL has made. And that's the vote.
I feel like they need to, like I said, I think they just have to announce it. And I think when they're in that formation, I think it needs to be known and a guarantee, like, hey, like just like you tell the other team, hey, we're punting. You need to tell them, look, we're running push because the formation that it requires for a defense.
But you can fake a punt.
You can 100%.
So I don't like that the NFL, you have to announce an onside kick Because it's a worthless play
Yeah,
now.
that sucks. Because it's like formation-wise, like you have to announce a punt just so you can put your punt team out there, even if they do fake it. I think like the defensive formation that it would take to stop the tush, I think it's possible, but you can't just take a defense who's got their guys out there who just stopped a 3rd and 7, and it's now 4th and 1. Now you've got the same 4D linemen out there, and they have to stop the force of a tush push. I think you need to allow a defensive coordinator to say, okay, this is my tush push package. We're going to send these 6 biggest guys out there to stop this play, because the O-lines, they're the same regardless, but the D-line changes. And I feel like there's no way 4 D linemen sprinkle in some linebackers in the A-gaps. They can't stop the tush push. It's the only – I've never seen it be stopped, honestly, when the Eagles were trying to make it work. Maybe a couple times I saw it happen. But you need to be able to send your big guys out there, because the size of guys you need to stop that tush push, they're not getting a pass rush on a 3rd and long. So when Philly just runs up to the line and does that tush push, it's a really bad disadvantage. And I think defenses almost have to call a timeout if they really want to stop it.
Then call a timeout. Like,
and also
when is it now that we're going to be against advantages in sports? You know what? Tyreek Hill's too fast. You need to slow down. You can't run past someone, because that's not fair.
Didn't they say that MJ was too good, though, so he had to change the hand check? Or is that just a myth?
It's the whole, you got this guy that, it's like when basketball, you couldn't dunk a basketball. Well, that ain't fair. This tall guy over here can dunk a basketball. We're going to ban that in the game of basketball.
I didn't even know that was a thing ever.
That was a thing, yes.
Wow.
You can dunk a basketball back in the day. It wasn't fair. This human being is stronger and faster than us. We can't have this happen. To me, it's not. It is just a bunch of bitter dudes that look and say, man, the Eagles, they're not breaking any rules. It's the whole Bill Belichick thing, like, oh, is this a loophole? No, this is just a play that they're better at than everyone else that people don't like, and so they're banning. Yeah, I don't think that is the spirit of sport at all.
I think it should be treated, don't ban it, but it should be treated as a special team.
Now, if it's interesting if you have to declare it, but why do you have to declare a play you want to run on 2nd down? Like
now, if it's
2nd and 1.
Now, okay, so I am only thinking of like 3rd, 4th. Because of the formations, but also 2nd and 1, that would seem very, very extra to have to declare. But still, I think so. I think so, just because of the formation and the X's and O's sides of it. I think the defense is at a crazy disadvantage. But then again, you can sub your guys in between plays. It can just, if it's a no huddle, maybe they shouldn't be allowed to do it off a hurry up. I wonder how many times
they're doing it off a hurry up.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't be allowed to do it off of hurry up. And they still should have to tell the sideline.
Just because you can't stop it, you got to tell someone it's coming?
Just so a defense can say, okay, let's get our package in. Let's get our big guys in, because they're about to do this play that's impossible, physically impossible. Now, they can mess it up, though. Now, maybe they do it on purpose to help their case, but I've seen Jalen Hurts has fumbled that thing sometimes. I've seen the ball poke out the back of the tush push, and they've turned the ball over plenty of times because of it. So it's not perfect.
I think it's such like a small percentage of the plays overall in football season that we're overreacting to.
It's just so important, though. When they pull it out, it's a big deal. They did it one time. I think it was against the Rams, maybe, where they were down.
I don't think Lamar Jackson should be able to run and throw the football. I think a quarterback should have to stay within a 6x6 square box to play the quarterback position. It is not fair that Lamar Jackson can run and throw a football.
I saw the Eagles on their own 25-yard line, up a score, 2 minutes left in the game, and they tush pushed. And it's like,
stop it. Stop it. Then I also saw Saquon Barkley run 80 yards for a touchdown.
But that was through a regular formation play. I think they should have to declare it. Don't ban it, but let the defensive coordinator know we're doing tush push.
Well, life ain't fair, so make rules to make it fair. We come back, we're talking quarterbacks on the other side. We're going to get into this, the parity situation, and is that trickling over to the depth of quarterback play in the NFL? We'll hit that next here on The Sports Animal.
The Sports Animal wants to give you a
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it.
Lobos, who have played a heck of a conference season, 30 wins this year. overall. Had a battle with Fresno State this past weekend in Albuquerque. Came up short twice, missed out on conference championship in a first round bye. But you see with that offense the potential and why this could be a really intriguing Mountain West tournament. But it all is about winning today and advancing in Mesa, Arizona. JJ Buck State Johnson with you. All right, I've been teasing this for a while. Pro Football Focus ranked the 32 starting quarterbacks ahead of the 2025 NFL season. Now, it's based on a combination of recent performance and career trajectory. For the top 5, it's Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. So maybe you could switch things around if you want to say, oh, Josh Allen 2 or Lamar Jackson 2. Even put one of those guys over Mahomes. You feel he took a step back last year. I got it. But I'm not here to debate the top quarterback right now. I want to look at the middle of the pack. And we used to think like 15 or 16 in quarterback rankings in the NFL. You'd say, you know what? Oh, that's league average, right? You want to just be an average quarterback. Well, I don't know. You know, when you got 15, 16, and 17 right now, according to Pro Football Focus, we're talking Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak Prescott. To me, that screams above average quarterback play. Yeah, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence.
This is such a disrespectful list.
Okay, there's two ways to look at it. It's such a disrespectful list, or quarterback play is better than we think it is in the NFL. For Kyler Murray, he's got some work to do, and I think we're going to see a good season for Kyler Murray, full year removed from the knee injury. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., plenty of weapons there. Trevor Lawrence, right? Same thing, underperformed what it feels like the last few seasons in Jacksonville. New head coach, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, no excuses there. Dak Prescott has flashed MVP level play. But if we're talking about these guys that have high ceilings, you know, in Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence, a Dak Prescott that you know is a double-digit win quarterback in the NFL, can flirt with MVP status when things go right. To me, this screams that, yes, it's hard because it's team game. Quarterback position is under the most pressure of anyone else. But the NFL is in a really good spot with quarterback play if we're looking at these guys in mid-tier rankings right now.
Look, I'm sorry. Super Bowl, Fish Bowl, does not matter. Jordan, these are the guys that are better than Jalen Hurts on this list and that are ranked under Jalen Hurts. Number 1, Jaden Daniels under Jalen Hurts. I'm taking Daniels. That's the most controversial one. Jordan Love is better than Jalen Hurts. If you put Jordan Love on the Philadelphia Eagles, they still win the Super Bowl. If not, they dominate the regular season even more than they just did. And I guess maybe that's a bad way of, rating quarterbacks, but I imagine, okay, put this guy on that team. How does he do?
That's fair to have.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Okay, so I think if you drop Matthew Stafford on the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl. You drop Jordan Love on the Eagles, they win the bowl. Baker Mayfield, they win the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud, they win the Super Bowl. I'm going to leave Dak out of it because I got a Cowboy sweatshirt on. I don't want to be biased. Maybe even Bo Nix, I might put him in that category. Just off eye test, these guys are better quarterbacks than Jalen Hurts.
So you're just going right to the top. I'm having a conversation about the depth of the quarterback play.
Okay.
And you think you're offended by Jalen Hurts being the fifth best quarterback in the league by Pro Football Focus?
And a lot of these guys, Daniels, now the top 3, of course, the top 4 are there. But after that, I just think it's wild. I'm a Cowboy guy, but Jordan Love should be top 5 on this list.
I think Jordan Love's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I think he should replace Jalen Hurts. Off pure talent, yeah.
If that's the case, I think it's Jaden Daniels. I might have Justin Herbert ahead of Jordan Love still. We're talking.
Yeah. They're very similar, honestly.
No, it's fascinating. So it's a combination of recent performance and career trajectory because Geno Smith is 10th on this list. And Geno Smith is out of sight, out of mind for so many people when it comes to quarterback play.
Like, where does he come from? But to your point,
he's had some of the best numbers over the last.
He has. And to your point, this list is a deep list. When you look at these names, you realize how deep the list is.
So the top 19 quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
And 19 would be Bo Nix. And that's after, Tua and Dak. So that's 19 dudes where you could say, well, I put this guy here, and they're winning at a high level. That is a really good number in the NFL. Yeah, 20 down, you have your question marks, but then you still have your upside because we're talking about, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
guys with upside.
Bryce Young being over Caleb, Cam Ward, and Russell
I
Wilson.
don't feel that now. So here's my question to you. Because you think, Jalen Hurts could not be there. Okay, so 20, I'll say 19 down. Because, Bo Nix is just going into his second year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at Bo Nix, Bryce Young, McCarthy, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams. Which one of those guys is a top 10 quarterback after this season?
After this season?
Yeah. Could make that jump.
Caleb
Williams.
Cam second. Cam second just off pure talent.
Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, Jaden Daniels just kind of opened that lane for him to be able to come in and have that kind of season. But also, I think Jaden Daniels had a better team than Cam Ward's dealing with. But Cam has got his number one receiver from Miami. So I think that'll help. But I think Caleb and the whole revamp of the Bears, I think they really, really cater to him. And it's to the point where if he's not, I don't want to put the pressure and say he needs to be top 10.
If he's not, if this isn't,
it'd be a bad look.
9-win season for the Bears.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. It'd be a bad look and a bad sign for Caleb.
So I think Caleb Williams is an easy answer. And, dude, when you take a step back and you look at the numbers and then kind of the weapons, like Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
His rookie numbers in that system. And you look, all right, it's Cortland Sutton and then kind of a cast of characters after that. They didn't really have a run game. And they were a 10-win playoff team. And, R.J. Harvey, second-round pick. That is, I think it's like the third highest running back ever drafted by Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a ton of role in that offense. I think Bo Nix is one of those dudes. Now, Caleb Williams is set up of all these guys, right? Even, Michael Penix and Falcons have some nice weapons with Drake London and Bijan Robinson. But it should be Caleb Williams that could jump into that conversation after this year, those young guys getting into the top. But I just thought it was really interesting because, we'll have more time to discuss this, of course, leading up to the NFL season. But looking at this list, it's pretty much 19 deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the quarterback position is scrutinized, as it should be, man. This is pressure. It means so much. I think the NFL is in a pretty darn good spot with potential at the quarterback position right now, which is why the league is fascinating. And again, it goes back to what we've kind of been discussing, right? The hope, the parity. There is an opportunity for your team.
And you're in, I know you're big on fantasy. It was really shocking to see how the passing started out so slow last year. And I couldn't exactly figure out why that was. It wasn't like it was the weather. So I do have a feeling that this year around that is going to change, but you're going to have your teams like the Eagles and the Ravens who are still going to run the ball a lot, but the quarterbacks are taking over again, I believe.
It's always about the quarterback position. What it's about right now, though, is Lobo Baseball Mountain West Tournament today. Lobo San Jose State live right here on The Sports Animal, and voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, joins us next here on The Sports Animal.
95.9 FM.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 5.
Mountain West Tournament baseball coming up from Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona. Third-seeded Lobos taking on San Jose State. What a season it's been so far for UNM and Todd Brown's team, slugging the ball all over the yard. 30-22. Came down to the final series of the year. Had an opportunity to win a conference title. Came up short, but battled. And this team could get hot. And Todd Brown is very confident in his 9 guys on the lineup. And there's always a question. Can you get enough pitching? It just takes one game today for the Lobos to advance as they take on San Jose State. Zay Johnson, JJ Buck with you here on the opening drive on the Sports Animal. And you know, News Radio KKOB, the Sports Animal, we have you covered for Lobo Athletics. And super excited about today because Lobo Baseball is going to be live on the air. Lobos, Spartans, and the voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, joins us this morning. Rob, what's up, man? How you doing?
JJ, buddy, it's great to be with you. I'm doing just terrific, you know. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. And this is really cool when I heard that this was going to happen. We're going to have the opportunity to have Lobo Baseball here on the Sports Animal. And just watching this team this season, of course, we know the offense is phenomenal. But what stands out about this team? Because it's not just the altitude, right? It's not just, all right, you play in Albuquerque. This team, top to bottom, is just raking.
It's because they're capable of hitting to all fields. It's not just a team that hits for power. I mean, they have a chance to set the New Mexico program record for home runs in a single season. As a team, they're 2 away from that mark. If they play just a couple of games here in Mesa, I fully expect that record to go down. That's saying something. As you know, there have been so many incredible teams over the years. But it's the fact that they're also leading the nation in batting average, JJ. I mean, there's no let-up 1 through 9. There isn't a spot where the opposing pitching staff can relax. I've seen teams come through Albuquerque that have power. I've seen teams that have been able to, go gap to gap and run, but it's a rare bird when you have a team that does it all like this one. It even steals bags. Josh McAllister is one of the best athletes I've ever seen at the college baseball level. Not only is he among the league leaders in average and home runs, but he also is in the top 5 in stolen bases. There are just some special players in this lineup. And let's not forget, this is the first time in quite a while that the Lobos have had a player from the pitching staff make the All-Mountain West team. And he's got the baseball today for New Mexico. Daxton Purser has a really special changeup. So there's a lot to love about this team, JJ. And like you just said, actually, in the intro, this team could have easily won the regular season title. I think this is wide open in Mesa this week.
And you look at last weekend, the opportunity they had, Fresno State in town, 2 tough losses in games 1 and 2 of that series, 7-5, and then the extra inning game, 11-10. What positives can this team take from that? They came up short, but they know they can pretty much play with anyone in this conference.
Absolutely. And I think that the last game of the series was crucial. Fresno State was still playing for a share of the regular season championship. If they had won, they would have gotten that. San Jose State beat Nevada on the last day of the season to punch their ticket to the tournament. That's the Lobos' opponent today. And that win by San Jose State meant that Fresno could grab a share of the regular season trophy if they swept New Mexico. So there was plenty on the line for the Bulldogs, and the Lobos had not beaten Fresno State this season. That's the most important thing, honestly, that came from that game, because UNM had lost 5 straight. And if New Mexico beats San Jose State today, that's who they get tomorrow. In the 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain Time game tomorrow, they're going to get Fresno State. So to have that win over the Bulldogs under your belt, it just adds the confidence that literally there is no team in this league that stands out among the rest. I mean, this has been as balanced a Mountain West as you could possibly imagine, and balanced in a quality way. It's anybody's tournament.
Voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy, joining us. Lobo Baseball live on the Sports Animal today, 2 p.m., 3-6 matchup, Lobos and Spartans. And you mentioned, Daxton Purser. What kind of confidence has he brought to the mound when he's pitching for the Lobos?
I can remember a double-digit strikeout day for Dax early in the year where he punched out 11, and the silly swings that he gets on his changeup, JJ, are just amazing. Like, we've seen some really good changeups come through Santa Ana Starfield. I can think of Tyler Stevens, another All-Mountain West type of guy that had just a filthy right-handed changeup. This is a truly special pitch, and if it's dancing today, it just disappears on guys. And the one thing that the Lobos have struggled with, and we saw it in the series against Fresno State, especially in those first 2 games, the Lobos, in fact, had an early 5-2 lead in the first game of the series. It's getting a 0 after you get a crooked number. And Dax is the kind of guy that gives the team the confidence that when he takes the mound after the lineup puts up a 3 spot, that he's going to go throw a 0 up for you. And you need to sustain momentum when you get it, especially in tournament games where if you lose momentum and you don't get it back, you're out. In a situation like today where it's win or go home, that's the kind of confidence he brings.
You look at the Lobos, you touched on, there's 6 players that were first or second team all-conference selections, and what Todd Brown has been able to do at the University of New Mexico. We focus so much, of course, on football and basketball and the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness, but that's what other teams are having to do on campus. I talk with soccer a ton about the challenges that Heather Dyke is facing in this new era. How has Todd Brown been able to acquire this type of talent offensively at UNM?
Recruiting his tail off. I mean, Matt Risden is his recruiting coordinator. He has a phenomenal staff. Mike Lopez, his pitching coach, Justin Mitchell, his hitting coach, Tyler McPeak, his ops director, player development guy. They just absolutely bust their tails. It never ends on the bus on the way here, leading up to the Mountain West tournament. I hear Coach Brown talking with assistants about guys that he likes, guys that are interested, guys that they need to get involved in terms of the recruiting process. I mean, they have tremendous ties to Arizona, the 2 of them at the top of the list, Coach Brown and Coach Lopez, with their time at U of A. The recruiting ties here to the junior colleges especially are just tremendous. But, they're pulling D1 guys too. Like, I mentioned Josh McAllister. He played at Ohio State. He was a highlight reel defensive player at second base at Ohio State who wanted more playing time. And here he is. And then in terms of the recruiting coin, you flip that over, that you go from high major D1, Big Ten, to superstar junior college player in a guy like Jordi Oriach. And you're able to find him and get him, and he's doing what he's doing here with the Lobos in his first season. There is no stone left unturned with these guys in terms of the recruiting trail. That's how you do it.
We got 3-6 matchup. It's New Mexico. It's San Jose State. Winner moves on. And then if the Lobos are able to win, you look at playing Fresno State, as you mentioned. And then that's when it gets into double elimination and kind of anyone's game after that.
100%. You just want to get through today. If you get through today, you're at least playing two more. You know that you're here at least through Friday, and it's on, right? This is just the coolest format. This is something that softball has done for quite a while in the Mountain West. And the advent of the 8-team league, when Washington State came in as an affiliate member, one of the remnants of the old Pac-12, looking for a place to play, and the team grew to 8 for this season. They decided to move off of the 4-team format that they've been using since they reduced the tournament from everybody plays to just 4 get in. And I think it's fantastic. It made the end of the regular season unbelievably exciting. Only one of the 8 teams at the end of the season was eliminated from postseason contention. Ironically enough, it was Washington State going into the last week. They were the only team that couldn't get in. But Air Force and San Jose State were fighting down the finish for the last spot. Going into the last day, the Lobos didn't know if they were going to play San Diego State, Air Force, or San Jose State in the first game of the tournament because it was still so up in the air. And as you know, JD, you mentioned it when we started, that all 3 teams were tied for first going into the final week. Fresno State, New Mexico, and Nevada all were tied. It was so wide open and so much fun down the stretch. They got it perfect. I mean, they got what they wanted out of this new format. I cannot wait to get over there to Sloan Park today. It's going to be exciting, intense baseball, and it's the best baseball. Postseason baseball is off the chain awesome.
And I'm excited that we get to have it right here on the Sports Animal, and hopefully it's a few days of the Sports Animal. Robert, I always appreciate the time, man. I know you're going to have fun, and can't wait to see what happens this afternoon.
I appreciate you so much, JJ. Thanks for having me. And, yeah, I'd love to have everybody tune in at 2 o'clock Mountain this afternoon, and we're really excited to have Lobo Baseball on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Thank you, buddy.
See you, man. That's Robert Portnoy, voice of the Lobos, with us as Lobo Baseball live this afternoon, 2 p.m. right here on the Sports Animal. We have breaking news from the NFL that we will get to coming up next here on the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer and Size with the.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share.
What a glorious day. The ban of the tush push play did not receive enough votes at today's league meeting in Minneapolis. The play remains alive. There will be more tush pushes this season.
You know,
and rightfully so, because we are going over the top with an exaggerated quarterback sneak.
The math on this is insane. Now, I hated learning about the court system and how votes go and stuff like that in school growing up. But 20
I hated learning.
Yeah, I hated learning, honestly, in general. All I cared about was sports at school. You can ask any of my teachers.
And that is why we are sitting here today.
Yeah, it's exactly why we're sitting here today, because I never let them shut me up. But 22-10 was the vote. 22 teams said ban it. 10 said let's keep it, and it stays. What kind of math is this?
Math
it's not it's not how juries work.
Need 24 votes to pass something in the NFL.
I understand.
Like a super majority.
I completely understand. But 22-10 shows that, oh man, it was so close. It was so close, and the Eagles shouldn't have counted in the vote.
Close.
I hope the Eagles are not one of the 10 votes that said don't ban it. That would be completely unreasonable.
Why? It directly affects them. They should absolutely be able to vote.
Because of course they're going to vote no.
As they
go in
should.
there and vote yes.
It's ridiculous that you're looking at one team and going, man, you guys are really good at this play. We're going to ban it. It's close. It's going to go away. If it's at 22, you're probably going to get to 24 because they're going to bring it back up. A better team like the Packers or Commanders or Cowboys be like, we can't be having this in the NFL.
You know, shockingly enough, I guarantee Jerry was one of the guys that said don't ban it.
It'd be interesting to see what the split is on that.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see who voted what. Just keep the play. Maybe just an extra 5 seconds to sub D lineman in. Just they're telling us they're doing the tush push. You guys got an extra 5 seconds to normal. Get your package in.
Teams that sided with the Eagles include the Ravens, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Lions. So there's, according to Adam Schefter.
Okay, so that's probably all he's got. That's all he knows so far, huh? Because that would leave, 2, 3, or 4 more? I feel like if the Cowboys were one of those teams, he would have known.
Mm-hmm. The Eagles posted on social media just a photo of Philadelphia lined up against the Packers, and it just says push on. Lovely, lovely social media usage right there from Philadelphia and the social media team, given the fact it was the Packers that officially presented the proposal to ban the tush push.
I wonder what the argument was. I think that's publicized, isn't it? With their whole, I'd like to see what
you're
their
going to get more. People are going to talk to Adam Schefter and the other reporters around the league. As we're winding down the last few minutes,
but then
that's what I'm seeing pop up on X is a lot of Shefty's tweets right now.
Imagine that feeling, say you're a fan of a team, right? You're on a team, you're going to play somebody, but then you figure out that their star player's out, and then when you win, they're always going to say, oh, well, we missed our player. We didn't have our guy. As a Cowboys fan who's a very big rival of the Eagles, and Cowboys fans don't like Eagles fans, the last thing I do need to hear, right, is say this was to get banned, the Eagles don't win, or say the Cowboys have a better season, and then their of the tush push. We didn't have the tush push. You guys had to ban the tush push. See, it's like, no, I want to see them lose with it. That would give me the most satisfaction. That's why I just think that a team should be allowed to prepare a little bit more, but I don't want to see
as we discuss the future of the tush push, like, I'm listening. I'm intrigued by what you're saying, but it's also not just the play that's like used on fourth down. And so that's the challenge of it, is you declare you're doing it. And that, to me, that also just takes away from competition of sport, of just stepping up, trying to be better, of trying to win the moment, trying to win the down. Because I don't like that you have to announce an onside kick and they've taken that away.
That
in the
sucks.
games. Like, you can only do it trailing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Well, it's I was looking at, it's not like onside kicks were some epidemic that was awful, where people are getting hurt like crazy.
That's just
so you take away some tiny smidge level of excitement on a kickoff, and yet you're complaining that we need more kickoffs, which is why you've changed the rule, and you're just trying to get all these teams to return the kickoffs and trying not to have these dudes kick out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And yet the 0.001% chance you ever have, that's what it feels like, an onside kick, you've taken that away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they didn't do this. However, it was so close. As you said, 22 teams voted to ban the tush push.
That's crazy.
And all it takes is 24.
I wonder if the Eagles weren't winning Super Bowls, or if they didn't win the Super Bowl, if 22 teams would have still said no.
Yeah, if it would have had the same moment.
Yeah, and I don't think so. So that is something you have to factor in, and it's like, okay, it's because they're winning, people are really complaining about it. Whereas if they had won 9 games, I don't think anyone would care. And that tush push is not why they were a good team. Like, Saquon was running for 80 yards, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, their defense was the best in the league. So it's not just a tush push.
I'm with you on this, and I'm glad it wasn't banned. Now, it was so close. There were 22 votes to ban it. It takes 24. And here's a comment from Mike Vrabel, which I like. And this is actually from March, ahead of the kind of previous meetings. He was talking about the tush push and the Patriots, as we just saw reported, one of the teams that voted not to ban it. So Mike Vrabel, head coach of the Patriots, he said, quote, "What I think we should not do and be careful of is there's a lot of different plays that you have to defend that the offense does well. And that particular play, you have to defend it. It's also tough to defend Lamar Jackson when he runs the ball." So I am all in favor of getting rid of those plays that are tough to defend. But, we just try to focus on what the rules are and try to use them to our advantage.
You brought that up earlier. You hit me with the Lamar Jackson analogy. And the more I think about it, it does translate well. And the reason it didn't at first is because we're used to it at this point. But, I think it's more so when Mike Vick, for me, at least for my football watching days, when Mike Vick, I wasn't watching, he was on the Falcons, but I did start watching when he was, in jail. But when he got out and came to the Eagles, I didn't get to see
That's when you noticed. You're like, you know what? Let me check out this guy that just went to jail.
Well, yeah, I'm like, okay, this guy's coming out of jail. He's going to Philly. Let's see what this is all about. And then I saw
Vick was a cheat code, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is not fair because you got guys trying to defend a pass.
Virginia Tech Mike Vick.
I bet he was worse in college, huh? It was probably terrible. I guess in the Falcons he was the worst. I had a Michael Vick football. I had that red and black football that I guess had the world by storm in 2005, 2006. I had that football, but no, I think that it's something that teams are going to have to adjust to, and I would be very, very happy when it happens. I need to see one team crack the code. I need to see somebody crack the code and then Philly lose their power without it being banned. But if the NFL has to stop it, think about Jordan. The way I just brought it up, and I had to ask you if it was a myth. Everyone's always like, oh, he was so good, they had to change the rule. They're going to say that about Philly if they ban this.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
The tush push lives. The tush push lives. They appreciate you, man. I know you are ridiculously busy. Tailgate Talk Sundays. You're chilling with Kenny Thomas Unfiltered on Saturdays. The afternoon work, so I appreciate you waking up and hanging out with me today.
Yes, sir, of course.
It's always great. We got Lobo Baseball. Robert Portnoy Lobos, San Jose State, 2 o'clock right here on The Sports Animal. Till then, we got Colin Cowherd. Coming up next, Jim Rome for an hour, Lobo Baseball. And then tonight, Isotopes Baseball here on The Sports Animal. Adrian, appreciate you on ProView. Everybody, we're back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Metal with peace and love. Have a great day.
Your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless